Hi, my name is Kelsey, and I'm going to be talking about vegetarianism today. To start off, I'd like to show you this clip.
Daisy Farms claims to love their cows, but when cows were giving birth, handlers sometimes roughly pulled the calves out of their birth canals. This worker punched and used a pen to jab cows who were in labor. Given the chance, cows are excellent mothers. Here, a mother cow PETA named Annie gently cleans her newborn calf. But shortly after this footage was taken, Annie's calf was taken away. Daisy Farms claims that their cows are their babies, but within hours of birth, all newborn calves are taken away from their mothers. Many of the calves, like this one PETA named Emily, are then force-fed milk from other cows. Their own mother's milk will be turned into Daisy cottage cheese and sour cream. During the rough procedure, milk was forced into the lungs of some calves. Shortly after this footage was captured, this force-fed calf died.
So as you can see, animals aren't treated very well in the meat industry today. So that's why I'm going to talk about vegetarianism and how it can help. So first off, there's a stereotype about vegetarians that everyone won't shut up about how they don't eat meat and that they're angry people like Morrissey, but that's not true. So pretty much this presentation is going to be about how not eating meat can help you, the environment, and animals. First off, what is vegetarianism? There are 4 types of vegetarians, and none of them eat meat. There's lacto-vegetarians, which eat dairy. There's ovo-vegetarians that eat eggs. There's lacto-ovo that eat dairy and eggs. And then there's vegans that don't eat any animal byproduct at all. Some famous vegetarians are Paul McCartney, Albert Einstein, Leo Tolstoy, George Bernard Shaw, Leonardo da Vinci, and Gandhi. And a lot of major religions support vegetarianism. If you practice Jainism, you're required to be a vegetarian. Buddhism, the first law is that you can't kill another man or an animal. And Hinduism doesn't require vegetarianism, but it does support it. Okay. The first point is that vegetarianism can help you. It helps your health to be vegetarian because it's proven that people with a vegetarian diet have lower cholesterol, they're less likely to get cancer, they're less likely to die of heart attacks, they have lower blood pressure, a lower BMI, and they are less likely to get type 2 diabetes. Being vegetarian also helps the economy. In 1970, the top 5 meat companies controlled 20% of the meat being distributed. And today, the top 4 control 80%, which means that they pretty much have almost full power over how they package it. And there are some government corporations that monitor it, but sometimes, like with any government corporation, it can get corrupted. During the Bush administration, the chief of staff for the USDA was a former VP of the National Food Processors Association. And also during the Bush administration, the USDA's VP was a former lobbyist for the meat industry. A lot of workers in the meat industry have stood up saying that they don't get treated fairly, and they have said that they're treated similarly to the animals that are being slaughtered. Meat industries often use illegal immigrants because they know that they don't have very many options to go to, so they can't complain when they're treated unfairly. And a lot of workers, especially in the Food Inc. documentary, a woman from the Tyson company says that she is allergic to all antibiotics now because of the microbial resistance that occurs in animals at the farms and then gets passed along to the humans. Next, I'm going to talk about the environmental impact. As you might know, our ozones are being depleted because of release of carbon into the atmosphere, and meat factories, meat farms contribute 51% of our carbon footprint of our pollution. Meat farms use a ridiculous amount of water. It takes 683 gallons of water to produce 1 gallon of milk and 2,400 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef. Whereas for tofu, it only takes 244 gallons of water. There are over 500 million tons of manure dumped from animal farms every year, which can then contaminate groundwater and cause inflammatory, immune, and neurochemical problems in humans. Farming for feed for animals takes up a large amount of our land. 4 out of the 56 million acres of land being used for farming are actually eaten by humans. The rest are made for feed for animals. The average vegetarian uses 20 times less land than the average meat eater. It takes 10 pounds of grain just to produce 1 pound of beef. So if you imagine if you were trying to feed a starving family, it'd be easier to give them wheat than meat. 30% of our land in the US is used just to raise corn, just to feed animals. And 90% of the depleted rainforest is used to grow feed for animals. Our oceans are also being killed by fish farming. As you may know, the Great Barrier Reef just died recently, and a lot of animals are caught in bycatch, specifically dolphins, turtles, and sharks. Next, I'm going to talk about animal cruelty and how vegetarianism helps avoid that. So animals in the industry are kept in very close quarters and often don't have room to lay down to sleep. And the average cow is in ankle deep in their own manure, which causes a lot of problems with E. coli. And then a worker at a Purdue farm said that most chickens don't see sunlight their entire lives because they're kept inside. Animals are pumped with a bunch of antibiotics and chemicals to keep them growing so that they can be sold. And a big issue, as I said before, is microbial resistance, and that can be spread to humans, which makes it hard to treat infections. GMOs are a growing problem in America. This shows in 2005 the size of a chicken compared to 1957 and 1978. It's obviously much larger because people eat a lot of white meat, so they want to make the chicken breast bigger, but oftentimes chickens starve because they can't physically walk to get their food because their legs will break under the weight of themselves, so they weren't built to grow like that. Oftentimes on the way to slaughterhouses, animals die in transit or aren't dead by the time they go through the violent things that happen to them. A lot of pigs are boiled alive, and then you can just see how gory and violent it is to kill a lot of animals at once. So in conclusion, a vegetarian diet helps you, it helps the environment, and it helps animals. Thank you.
Yeah.